There are moments in life so subtle, so quietly profound that we move through them unaware of their gravity. The greatest tests we face do not arrive with fanfare or flashing lights. No one sends a message ahead to warn you. There's no announcement from a mountaintop, no trumpet calling you to attention. They are invisible, often disguised as ordinary days. And yet, it is in these very moments that your character. You see, life is not a series of neatly packaged events where everything meaningful arrives with clear instructions. More often than not, it is a long, winding road of seemingly unremarkable decisions. It's in the pause before you speak an unkind word, in the breath you take before choosing grace over anger. It's in the patience you offer when impatience would be easier. It's in forgiving someone who will never apologize, and standing alone when the crowd surges in another direction. And we do not know these moments for what they are while we are in them. No, we believe we are merely enduring a tough day, biting our tongue in a disagreement, lending a hand though no one acknowledges it. But these are the tests, subtle, silent, sacred. They arrive wrapped in the cloth of the everyday, and it is only with time, only with reflection, that we realize how much was at stake. Perhaps it is a friend who betrays your confidence. In that moment, you can return betrayal for betrayal, or you can choose dignity. The world will not clap for you when you choose the higher path. There is no trophy for walking away from gossip, for declining to answer cruelty with cruelty. But in that instant, something eternal happens within you. You pass a test of the spirit, and the universe makes a quiet note in the margins of your life's book. Or maybe you find yourself laboring in a thankless place, giving your best in a job that does not see you, offering kindness in a home where it is not returned. The temptation to grow bitter is strong. The pull to believe you are wasting your light is real. But there, in that quiet perseverance, in the decision to maintain your integrity without applause, you pass another unseen test. You learn the discipline of character. You build a muscle in the heart that no easy day could ever develop. There is a reason the earth does not roar with thunder every time you make a noble choice. There is a reason the skies do not split open when you carry a burden with grace. The wisdom of life, of the ancestors who walked before you, of the old souls whose names we may never know, is this. The work of becoming is quiet. It is an inward journey, and the moments that shape you most will never ask for your attention. You see, tests like these cannot be scheduled. They cannot be prepared for in the way we study for exams or train for marathons. Life does not hand you a syllabus outlining where and your soul will be tested. That is because the preparation for these tests is your living. Every word you speak, every decision you make, every kindness you offer, every temptation you resist, these are the quiet lessons that ready you for the great unseen tests of life. And so you must move through your days with an awareness that though the world may not see you, the forces that matter do. Your dignity in small things counts. The honesty you keep when lying would be convenient is noticed. The mercy you extend when you are well within your right to condemn matters. There is an ancient truth that says character is what you do when no one is watching. But let me tell you, someone is always watching. Perhaps not the eyes of men, but the great unseen current of life records every choice. And it is those records that shape your future. Understand that difficulty, too, is a kind of examination. The times when your back is against the wall, when it seems every door has closed, when you are tempted to curse the heavens and abandon your faith, those are tests in disguise. They ask you silently, will you still choose hope? Will you still choose love? Will you still believe in yourself when there is no evidence, no witness, no applause? And the beauty of passing these tests is not always in the blessing that follows, but in the becoming that happens within you. The storm teaches you what you are made of. The loneliness sharpens your compassion. The injustice you endure cultivates a resilience that no easy life could grant. Every test you pass without knowing strengthens the foundation of the person you are meant to be. So do not despise the small battles. Do not overlook the mundane moments. Do not dismiss the quiet sacrifices. They are your teachers. They are the tools shaping you into something formidable, something gentle yet unyielding, soft in heart yet unbreakable in spirit. The greatest tests of life come in ordinary clothes. They will not announce themselves, but they will define you. And though you may not recognize them in the moment, you will one day look back and understand that it was those uncelebrated choices, those private victories that determined the course of your destiny. Walk then through each day with grace. Speak words that heal, not harm. Extend mercy, even to those who do not ask for it. Hold on to your integrity like a precious stone. And when life presses against you, when the weight feels unbearable, know that you are in the middle of a test that has no written questions, no time limit, no audience, but it matters all the same. For in the unseen, in the unacknowledged, in the seemingly unimportant, you are shaping the very fabric of your future. And the blessing when it comes will not only be in what you receive, but in the person you have become. So often in this life, we move through our days believing we are simply reacting to the world around us. We wake, we speak, we decide, we act. And while we think we are just getting through another ordinary day, what we fail to see is that the way we carry ourselves, the way we answer life's countless small demands, is our response to questions we didn't even know are being asked. There is a quiet inquiry always been posed to the heart. Will you be kind even when no one thanks you? Will you remain honest when a lie could buy you ease? Will you choose decency when cruelty seems to hold the upper hand? We imagine we are just holding a door open for a stranger, offering a seat to someone weary, listening a little longer than we had to. But these moments, these seemingly inconsequential acts are the substance of who we are. They are our answers to life's silent, sacred questions. And though no one might speak them aloud, though there may be no judge, no jury, no congregation of witnesses, your soul knows. The higher part of you knows, and somewhere in the unseen, the weight of those answers builds a record. There's a certain grace in not being aware of these tests while they unfold. For when you act out of the natural goodness of your heart, rather than for recognition, your deeds ring truer. Extend grace without calculating the return, to forgive without waiting for an apology, to tell the truth when no one else is brave enough to stand beside you. These are the moments when you are offering answers to questions you didn't realize were being asked. You thought you were just choosing mercy over anger, but you were affirming your character. You thought you were just walking away from gossip, but you were proclaiming the dignity of your name. You thought you were just weathering one more hard, lonesome day, but you were proving to yourself and to life that you were not made to break. What's more, these quiet answers you give shape the very energy that follows you. The world turns in response to the intentions we carry. A bitter heart will find reasons for bitterness. A tender heart will find cause for joy. When you carry yourself with integrity in the unseen, life has a way of folding those actions back toward you in moments you least expect. A kindness done in obscurity will find its way back to you. A blessing withheld from no one will open doors in rooms your feet have not yet touched. Perhaps you've known days when you felt invisible, when your good deeds were overlooked, your sacrifices unacknowledged, your patience unrecognized. You wondered if it mattered at all, if anyone noticed, if anyone cared. But here's what the old souls knew, what those wise enough to walk in grace understood. It is never wasted. No goodness leaves your hand and vanishes. It plants a seed. Maybe not one you'll see bloom tomorrow or next season, but the roots will stretch deep in the unseen soil of your life. And those answers you've given, those refusals to betray your own soul, become the unseen architecture of your future. They determine the strength of your foundation when storms come. They decide which doors open when opportunity calls. They summon the right people to your side when you need them most. Not because you schemed for it, but because you answered well when life asked without words. In many ways, we are always being asked who we are, not by a single grand question, but by 1,000 little moments. How do you treat the person who can do nothing for you? How do you behave when you believe no one will find out? What do you do with your power, however small it might be? Every day, life poses these inquiries in disguise. And every time you choose compassion over apathy, honesty over deceit, courage over fear, you declare something sacred about yourself. There is a particular kind of beauty in those who answer well, not because they expect praise, but because it is simply who they've decided to be. They are the ones who leave a room warmer than they found it, who steady the shaking hand, who stay behind to help when the crowds have gone home. They do not move with the expectation of reward. Their reward is in the act itself, in the steady knowledge that when asked by life who they are, their answer is one they can be proud of. And it isn't always dramatic. In fact, most of these answers come in hushed tones and unrecorded hours. They come when you hold your peace in an argument you could have one. When you listen to the weary story of someone who has no one else to tell it to. When you place your own pain aside for a moment to comfort another. It comes when you pay attention, when you choose to notice, when you decide that your actions will echo kindness rather than cruelty. We have been misled, some of us, to believe that significance is reserved for the grand gestures, the large platforms, the history-making events. But life is not stitched together by such moments alone. It is sown in the small, countless acts of decency we offer without being asked. And though history may not record them, though crowds may not cheer them, the record of your life will. And it will matter in the hours when you stand alone to know that you answered well. The beauty of it all is that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get it right every time. There will be days when your answers are weary, when your mercy runs thin, when the world's hardness threatens to infect you. And that too is a question. Will you rise again? Will you apologize when you fall short? Will you soften what has grown hard within you? Every stumble is a question. And every rising is an answer. So move through this world knowing you are constantly engaged in a silent dialogue with life. And though no one may hand you a scorecard, though no judge may pronounce your verdict, your heart knows. And if you are very quiet, if you listen in the stillness, you will hear the questions as they come. And you, my dear, will have your answer ready. There is a truth as ancient as the earth and as steady as the rising sun, that what is meant for you cannot be taken, cannot be lost, and will not be denied. It may be delayed. It may take the long, winding road instead of the shortcut. It might detour through sorrow, through loneliness, through seasons of drought and nights so dark you forget the sound of your own joy. But the blessing, the rightful inheritance of your soul's labor will come. And isn't that the hardest part? The waiting. We are taught to plant and harvest in the same season, conditioned to believe that effort and reward must walk hand in hand, that if you are good, kind, hardworking, the fruits of your labor should appear swiftly, like magic on command. But life in all her mystery does not work that way. No, she deals in seasons we cannot predict, in timings we do not control. And if you have lived long enough, you've learned that some of your most faithful efforts were met with silence. Some of your purest intentions were misunderstood. Some of your greatest sacrifices went unnoticed. And it would be easy, so easy, to believe it was all for nothing. But hear this and let it settle in the deepest part of your being. Nothing good you have ever done, no kindness you've shown, no mercy you've extended, no burden you've carried with grace has ever been wasted. It may not have returned to you in the hour you needed it most. It may not have arrived in the form you imagined, but it planted something eternal in the soil of your life. Blessings are like seeds scattered by the winds of unseen hands. You do not always know where they've landed, when they'll take root, or when they will bloom. Some rise quickly like flowers in spring, while others lie dormant in the cold earth of your story, waiting for the precise moment when your soul is ready to receive them. And it is not punishment that makes you wait. It is preparation. The delay, though heavy, though maddening, though sometimes cruel in its silence, is a tool. It is life's way of shaping you into the vessel worthy of the blessing you seek. For what good is a gift if you are too brittle to carry it? What is the use of a crown if your head is not strong enough to bear its weight? Life in her wisdom withholds certain blessings not to punish you, but to fortify you, to teach you patience, humility, resilience, to pull from you the arrogance that would ruin a good thing, to sand down the sharp edges of your entitlement, to deepen your compassion so that when your time comes, you are not only blessed, but a blessing to others. We are too quick to call the waiting a curse, too eager to mistake silence for absence. But the truth is, in those long, barren seasons, you are being prepared. You are being enlarged, stretched beyond the limits of what you thought you could bear, made spacious enough in heart and mind to hold the abundance that is. The blessing delayed is the blessing multiplied, though you may not see it now. And sometimes the blessing is not a thing at all. It is not a house, a title, a relationship, a sum of money. Sometimes the blessing is what is built within you while you wait. The tenderness you learn to extend to yourself. The wisdom gained from walking through fire and coming out on the other side. the peace you discover in the absence of applause, the joy you learn to cultivate from nothing but the memory of sunlight. These are not lesser blessings. They are not consolation prizes. They are, in fact, the most enduring treasures life has to offer. When the tangible blessings arrive, and they will, you will greet them not as a desperate soul clinging to proof of your worth, but as one who has already made peace with yourself. You will not need them to feel whole, for you will have learned to be whole without them. And that is the most powerful position from which to receive a blessing, not from lack, but from fullness, not as a rescue, but as an adornment to a life already rich with meaning. You must also know that not every delay is a denial. The roadblocks, the detours, the missed opportunities you mourn so bitterly may well have been the universe's merciful redirection. There are blessings you asked for that would have destroyed you had they arrived when you demanded them. There are relationships you begged to keep that would have fractured your spirit. Jobs, titles, platforms you coveted that would have made you a stranger to yourself. And though it hurt to lose them, though you grieved their absence, life was not denying you. She was protecting you. In time, if you listen closely, you'll hear yourself say thank you for the things you didn't receive. You'll see the wisdom in unanswered prayers. You'll understand why some doors remained closed, why some people walked away, why some seasons ended before you were ready. And when the blessing that is truly yours arrives, you will greet it with open hands, steady heart, and the clear-eyed gratitude of one who knows what it costs to wait. So do not curse the delay. Do not grow bitter in the pause. Let it shape you. Let it teach you what quick victories cannot. Learn to find sweetness in your own company. Learn to dance in the absence of music. Learn to believe in your worth even when no one is clapping. For these are the lessons that make the blessing not only sweeter when it comes, but yours to keep. And it will come in ways you could not predict, at a time you could not have planned, carried on winds you never saw coming. It will arrive when the soil of your life is ready, when your hands are open, when your heart is steady, when your spirit is both humble and unshakable. And when it does, you will know it was never denied, only delayed, and delayed not as punishment, but as preparation. For you, my dear, were always meant to receive it. There comes a moment, after the storm has spent itself, after the long night has finally begun to yield to a fragile, uncertain dawn, when you realize you survived what you thought might destroy you. There's a peculiar quiet in that space, a hush, as though even the earth pauses to recognize the weight of what you have endured. You may find yourself looking around, expecting a trumpet's call, a chorus of voices to sing your name in triumph, but more often than not, no one sees it. No one knows the private battles you fought, the invisible wounds you carry, the nights you whispered prayers meant for no ears but your own. And yet, though the world may not have noticed, something within you has changed. You've been remade, not in a grand cinematic moment of transformation, but in the steady, stubborn decision to keep going, to rise, to try again, to love in spite of heartbreak, to believe in goodness though the evidence is scarce. This too is a blessing. Not the blessing of wealth or recognition or ease, but the blessing of resilience. The quiet strength that comes only to those who have been broken and mended themselves with their own trembling hands. See, you were never meant to emerge from the trial empty-handed. Every hardship carries with it a gift, though it is often wrapped in sorrow, tied up with struggle, disguised in grief. It does not always come in the form you would choose. You may have asked for ease and been given endurance, prayed for peace and been handed patience, sought answers and received wisdom carved from silence. These are the blessings that life tucks into the folds of suffering, hoping you'll have the courage to reach in and claim them. And it takes courage, doesn't it? To keep your heart tender in a world that rewards hardness, to forgive without an apology, to hope again after disappointment, to open your hands to receive when life has so often struck them empty. But you've done it. Whether you realize it or not, you've done it. Every small kindness you've offered in the midst of your own pain, every laugh you've shared through tears, every act of faith in the face of uncertainty was a declaration. I'm still here. I am still choosing life, still choosing love. That is no small thing. It is, in fact, one of the most powerful acts a person can commit, to decide that bitterness will not have the final word in your story, that despair will not set up permanent residence in your spirit, that you will meet life's cruelty not with equal cruelty, but with dignity, with grace, with a stubborn, quiet kind of hope. And what you'll find, if you keep at it long enough, is that life has a way of honoring such resolve. Not always quickly, not always in the way you imagine, but blessings find their way to those who refuse to let the darkness consume them. The world, you see, has always belonged to those who carry light, the ones who, even when their own hearts are weary, strike a match against the dark so that others might see. It is in these acts of defiance against despair that you claim your true inheritance, not in titles, not in possessions, but in the legacy of your spirit. The memory of how you stood when others fell, how you spoke kindness when anger was justified, how you kept believing, kept working, kept loving when lesser hearts would have hardened. And let me tell you, the blessing that follows such resilience is rarely what the world would call spectacular. It may not glitter, it may not come with applause, but it is deep and it is lasting. It's the quiet confidence that no matter what comes, you will find your way through, mend your way through. The peace of knowing that nothing can take from you what you have built inside yourself. The joy of discovering that the life you've crafted from broken pieces shines with a beauty all its own. You come to understand that the real blessing is not in the absence of struggle, but in your capacity to endure it, to be shaped by it without becoming bitter, to let it carve wisdom into your bones. The real blessing is the person you've become on the other side. Wiser, kinder, stronger, softer where it matters, unyielding where it must be. And perhaps most precious of all, you gain the ability to see others more clearly, to recognize the quiet ache in someone's eyes, to offer a word, a touch, a moment of grace because you know what it means to need one. You become a safe place in a stormy world, a bearer of light, a reminder that it's possible to come through fire not unscathed but unconsumed. This, my dear, is the unseen reward of your endurance. The quiet blessing that lingers long after the world has moved on. You become a living testament to what it means to survive with your humanity intact. And though you may not see it, your life speaks to others, tells them without words that it's possible. That hope is not a foolish thing. That kindness still matters. That grace can be found even in grief. You learn to trust the process of your own becoming, to stop mourning what was and begin to embrace what is, to release the vision you have for your life and open your hands to the beauty of what remains. It isn't easy, but it is holy work. And when at last the blessing arrives, and it will, you'll understand why it took so long, why it could not have come sooner, why it had to wait for you to be ready, not just to receive it, but to cherish it, to carry it well, to share it freely. For by then you will have become a blessing in your own right, not because of what you possess, but because of what you embody, the grace you give, the love you extend, the hope you inspire. So stand firm. Lift your face to whatever dawn is breaking on your horizon. Know that you have passed the test, whether you realized it at the time or not. And now, beloved, comes the blessing, quiet, steady, fierce in its gentleness, a blessing that was always meant for you.